Hello, Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players. This is Andy Shorto. Today I'm going to be covering the meta report again. I've been covering it quite a bit, and I kind of like where it's at, other than I kind of wish some of these numbers were lower and some of these other numbers were higher, yet we have yet to see that. We'll just have to see what happens with that. It could mean that, like, say, when the episode 9 comes out, we'll get some more Resistance characters and Jedi training Rey, or maybe a new version of Rey, whatever they'll call her, Jedi Knight Rey, I don't know, will bounce up to here, and so we'll have some more teams. I really like the idea of having more than these teams be at the top of the meta. You know, and then if they ever add, because we're going into the Clone Wars era, there's still 3 characters, Night Sisters, in the background data that we could still see added, and it would allow her to rise up in the ranks. And that's the same with Grievous. Grievous could go up as well. We could see some more Clone Wars bounty hunters, which, I don't know. I think they did a lot of their bounty hunters last year, even though we are still missing tons, and I have covered them in numerous videos in the past. I don't see Phoenix going any higher, Darth Maul led teams going any higher, especially with this new rework. So, but first, I want to say upcoming changes to Darth Malak. His unique is getting an added bonus, saying Sith enemies can't gain turn meter, excludes raid bosses. So you're like, oh darn, I can't get ahead against, you know, the Sith raid. They want to, you know, prevent that. But Sith enemies can't gain bonus turn meter, and I don't like that for a few reasons, especially since, as you know, right now meta wise, I tend to run a lot of Sith characters, as well as I do run Thrawn as well. Grand Admiral Thrawn is another random person. He's my fastest character in the game. So, and I use him with the Triumvirate and Fallen Bastila. However, with this change, they'll be, first off, they're nerfing a character that could have been useful in a Sith Empire team, and that is Sith Assassin. She's part of the Sith Empire team. Sith allies gain 12% turn meter for each buff on her. And yeah, it's I don't know. She's just nerfed. A lot of people are, because of this announcement, they have stopped working on Sith Assassin. I don't blame you. Like, yes, you could still, I'd say you could still work on her to do use her under a Maul, Savage, Assassin, and 2 other Sith in Grand Arena. You could still use her in that, do the little Assassin Savage combo. It could still work. Use her with also Sith Marauder and then maybe Sith Trooper, just so that you get some extra buffs before she electrocutes someone. So that's something. But the one big thing that's really going to be stopped, think that this meta report, you're going to see this guy that finally got up is going to disappear, and that's Emperor Palpatine. So this turn meter gain is just no longer. Some people, like Arnold T, when he saw this, he thought that, like, the shock ability was going to be shut off, or make Darth Malak immune to shock. I think that would have been a better option, because he tends to heal kind of like Darth Nihilus does, and shock, healing immunity, and stunning for one, really hurts that team, because if Nihilus can't take a turn to gain his 150 health still back under his lead, you know, he's shut off if he's stunned, shocked. But then again, you have Traya with him, so at least Traya gets around the stunning part, but the shock part, they can't gain that. And if Treya's there, then at least you can cleanse it off. But just making Darth Malak immune to shock kind of would make sense. There's a few other characters I personally think that could make sense to be an immune to shock, and that's Emperor Palpatine himself. Him having immunity to shock would be a cool little bonus, because of how powerful he is in the Force. He's not going to let himself get zapped by his own lightning, or someone else's Force lightning, for that matter. Because he knows how to use it, he should at least know how to counter it, just in case something happens. Like, say Darth Maul somehow learned Force lightning. But alas, they did not. They decided to shut down all turn meter. They've been shutting down turn meter the last, 6 months. They shut down Finn's. No, I was going to say Poe, but mix it with Finn. Finn's turn meter gain. They shut his down completely almost. They nerfed HK's leadership, so droids don't have an advantage of being in the meta anymore. And now they're adding it to Emperor Palpatine. I hate to say it, but my concern is they're not wanting old characters to rise back up to the top as much anymore. It's kind of sad. I like the idea of a random team, like upcoming meta. Oh, sorry, wrong one. The meta report, I would not mind seeing. Let's see. Oh, droidica lead. He's not in here. Rex. I am worried they're going to ruin Rex's leadership. Rex was a dominant character for the longest time, rising to the top. At one time, he was part of the Triple Cleanse team, where it was him, General Kenobi, Chase, and Nihilus. And their goals was to protect Nihilus while he annihilated. That was cool. But then he kind of fell away for a little bit. Then he came back when Traya came around with Mother Talzin, General Kenobi. Sometimes they'd run Infant's Nest when she came out. And then they also ran Wampa. They did the little Wampa slam the days. Mother Talzin to spam plague and, protect the days from being cleansed on enemy teams. And it also kind of shut down the enemy healing. Or, it allowed plague to stick around on Traya from time to time. But then that team went away. I like it when there's those random teams that come back. I think there was once for a little bit, Akbar came back here and there. C-3PO late. I wonder if this team actually runs just droids that don't have a leadership. Like R2, BB-8, T3, L3, that kind of thing. But anyways, I like having these low-tiered characters come and make a comeback. And unfortunately, they're not going away with that. So, going on, though, let's look at some other Sith that this Malak's unique nerfs. Now, I will say, before I go into it, though, Malak hasn't been unlocked by a ton of people. So, I assume Palpatine's meta will probably go from 21% probably down to 18%. Just because the people that have Darth Malak can easily walk over Palpatine. However, Palpatine will be able to still walk over the Darth Revan teams that do not have Malak. So that's a good thing. That is still a good thing. So I want to see this diversity. I want to see this top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, the top 10. Or, throw Jango Fett in that spot. The top 10, have a chance to be at the top. I will love the diversity. So any team can almost beat any team. Of course, there are some teams that literally cannot beat Jedi Revan teams or Darth Revan teams. And there are only certain teams that will beat Darth Revan or Jedi Revan. And even Bastila. Bastila has come up. So, but besides that, yes, since they deployed I know they probably did it for the celebration. And there were some people that didn't even probably get it because they were, at the Star Wars celebration. Learning about Episode 9, Clone Wars, The Mandalorian, etc. And I will cover videos on those trailers as well, so stay tuned for those later this week. But for these characters, for this change, I'm kind of annoyed with a little bit. Because first off, on my Triumvirate team, one character that's stopped is Darth Nihilus, the Lord of Hunger, Whenever Darth Nihilus or Darth Sion and Traya are inflicted with a debuff, he gains 10% turn meter and plus 30. He'll still gain the max health, but he won't gain the turn meter. He'll lose that turn meter gain, which it isn't a drastic turn meter gain unless someone marks Traya and inflicts her with a bunch of debuffs like Yoda's basic, etc., etc. Then there's a lot of turn meter gain. But besides that, there's not much turn meter gain. It's not like 50% turn meter. Yeah, so that one is completely shut down. Part of the Triumvirate. I looked at the other Triumvirate right before I started this video, and he's the only one that gains turn meter. Next, obviously, he shuts down Darth Maul. Now, Darth Maul meta hasn't been a thing for a while. It kind of started to come back when Jedi Revan came out. Until Nest was nerfed, then people just stopped trying to use it. And, yeah, I kind of get that they want a new the players that unlocked it have a chance instead of being stomped by new players. And I know this is kind of like that too, because Emperor Palpatine's kind of more free-to-play era, especially if you unlocked Phoenix and were able to get him, Vader, and Thrawn with Phoenix, then, you know, between that and the achievements, so there's that. But yeah, Darth Maul, yeah, the turn meter game. Now, to me, it's to the point I feel like Darth Maul, instead of this turn meter, needs to give something else to some other status effect or bonus stats. Like, instead of just evasion, you know, add some other abilities like offense and health steal or something. 20% health steal, 20% offense, you know, just because his leadership's just useless right now, other than in the Grand Arena or Territory Wars. Yeah. Next, SWGOH Press. I looked at him, I was like, oh yeah. Anytime he takes damage, he gains offense, defense, and heal over time for 2 turns, and gains 30% turn meter. He's not going to do that. So that means he's going to die a lot faster under versing Darth Malak. Or even being on the side of Darth Malak, mirroring a Darth Malak team. Not that a lot of people would use SWGOH because you want to keep the ferocity. But then again, at the same time, ferocity, taken, like say 10 stacks of ferocity is taken down to SWGOH, it makes SWGOH hit even harder. So there could be that synergy. Except they do lose, again, he loses the turn meter gain. Which, I don't know, I just feel like maybe they should have targeted a certain faction. Because, like, Sith Assassin shouldn't be affected by this. But everyone was getting geared Sith Assassin up just because Revan came out, and then Malak's now going to ruin that. And, yeah. But, yeah, it stops SWGOH Press. So if anyone wanted to try to do the SWGOH Assassin combo, it doesn't work anymore. Again, I still wish SWGOH would synergize with Night Sisters for the cleansing part. Or dispelling part. Anyways, next, Darth Sidious. And because we're going to the Clone Wars, I would not be surprised we see a rework in him. His Zeta is great. He needs a new leader, and I feel like he needs something similar to Emperor Palpatine because they're the same character, and he has Force Lightning, so he could have that. You know, maybe like an AoE ability that, you know, shocks random enemies or something. But, again, he loses, you know, if any unit is defeated, he has additional... Oh, wait, no. Oh, yeah. It recovers 20% of his max health and gains 50% turn meter whenever any unit is defeated. I was reading from the wrong spot first. But, yeah, so any unit's defeated, he just only gains max health. He recovers his health. That's it. That's all he gets. He loses that turn meter gain, which kind of helps Sidious, you know, get caught up in some areas. And then finally, Count Dooku. It's not a great turn meter game because it's one of those has a 25% chance. It has a 25% chance to gain 45% turn meter, which they're really trying to eliminate turn meter. I've noticed. It seems like it's one of their mistakes. But in doing so, they're ruining the characters' kits, and now they have to do something else. But who knows? Who knows what they'll do? But these are the Sith that I looked at that will be shut down by Darth Malak's leadership, or unique. His, it's not there. Oh, Gnawing Terror. It's Gnawing Terror that this part will be added to. Am I disappointed? Yes, because now we're going to start... Once they bring back the event for Darth Malak, which some people would probably thinking it's not, but because we have achievements for the event, it's going to come back in the next like month or 2, or maybe even 3. When people are ready for him, they'll have to bring back Jedi Revan and Darth Revan before they bring back Malak, just so newer people can get Darth Malak. That's when you're going to see this meta report super. Once they have wave 2 and even wave 3 of Malak come out, this meta report is going to say 21% down to like 1%. It's inevitable. So, but you know, that's my thoughts on it. I'm again a little iffy on the idea of them doing that because they shut down a core crew They only want Sith Empire to work, but then again, they also kill off Sith Assassin. That's part of the Sith Empire, which makes no sense. Unless they reword it again and say non-Sith Empire Sith, then it kills off, then this character can be used again. So, other than that, let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this rework. Do you like it? Do you hate it? And yeah, thanks for watching. I do appreciate all those that watch the videos I make. And you guys have a phenomenal day.